That's right. Hello, Void. Finally getting around to one of the classics. This is honestly a movie I thought I'd reviewed by now. And actually, I had to go back through my lists, just reconfirming whether or not I actually did. In fact, I'm even right now re-scrolling through just to confirm that I didn't. But my notes say no. I only reviewed the more recent 2018 movie by the same name, Halloween, which is follow up to this one. Now, I watched it on Shudder just because I was away from my movie collection, but of course I own a copy. In fact, I own the extended version of Halloween, which now I've been watching this version for so long that I really wasn't sure what was extended in it. And the extensions really are not necessary, I will say. The movie actually kind of works better without it. Essentially, this one was shot for TV with an extra 12 minutes that were added that essentially tie it more closely into Halloween 2. So they kind of hint at the sister angle beforehand, since that was only added later. It was not in the original vision for Halloween. And a few other things that kind of work with that. Now, Halloween. Do I even need to go into the plot line of this one? Young Michael Myers on Halloween stabs his sister, and then after that point, never utters a word as he's put into an asylum for nearly 20 years. And on the night that becomes the night he came home and begins stalking a local babysitter and her friends and creating a murder spree right in his own hometown. It's brilliant. It's one of the best slashers ever put in there, and really rewatching it, it's very light on gore, very high on atmosphere. Some of the kills are gruesome, but not a lot extra is shown for them. Characters are likable, and Donald Pleasence is going for the he's going for the gold on this one, and he sells every scene he's in. Watching Donald Pleasence in the Halloween series in general is just wonderful. I love Donald Pleasence. So, Michael Myers, I never understood why they always credit him in most of these movies as the Shape, but they do. Proceeds to stalk Laurie Strode, and there's just so many great scenes of him just lurking in the background, or just her double taking, not sure if she's seeing something or not. Atmosphere is brilliant, and no matter how it has to see this movie, it still feels suspenseful. Even though I know it pretty much shot for shot at this point. It's one of my favorite slashers. I amongst the big three, if I have Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, I will say I think I've got a softer spot for Nightmare. Reviews on those are coming up at some point soon, promise. I just got a whole Blu-ray collection of them. And and this one, they're very close, but I will say Halloween, for MacGuffin-wise, I gotta give it a 10. Halloween's defined the slasher genre. Everything else wanted to be Halloween, and very few things were. With a movie this good, it's hard to think of everything to say that hasn't already been said. Music, the Halloween theme, once it's in my head, it never leaves. It gotta be up there with my favorite horror music of all time. I will say Candyman gives it a little bit of room for the money there, but Halloween, it's very iconic. All right, so John Carpenter is directing, and wow, he's definitely one of my favorite directors. But between this one, The Fog, The Thing, even The Ward, I just really do enjoy John Carpenter's work, and it's a quick way to get me to pay attention. So, Halloween. I always forget the year it originally came out because like 1978, which I believe does have it beating out. Yep, 78. Friday the 13th by just a little bit. And this version just had some extra footage that was added in 1980, so 2 years later. The extra footage is not needed. I will stress that again. If you watch the OG version of Halloween, you're even way better off. But that doesn't really detract either, so you're not really hurt by seeing 12 extra minutes. But it does put this one at kind of up there on the time frame. Gets it to essentially what had happened was they had 2 hour running time, so they need to create extra scenes to essentially extend it long enough for it. And well, I don't even know what else to say. Halloween, it's one of the perfect slasher films. There's nothing I'd really take away from it. 10 out of 10 every time. If you haven't seen Halloween, give it a go. As far as slashers go, this was definitely the most atmospheric out of all of them. It's not just watching a bunch of dumb people being chased around and murdered in the most gruesome ways fashion possible. It is. It takes its time, builds up the suspense, and then there's no way of describing Halloween. Watch Halloween. Can't stress that enough. All right. Well, that said, Halloween was on Shudder around this point, and there were a few others there, so I'm going to be talking about them shortly. Not next, because I did things a little out of order here, but we'll talk about that in the next vid. See you guys soon.